to my channel. My name is Rachael Wanogho and I am currently a master's student at Durham University in the United Kingdom. I'm studying creative writing, and I've had a couple of people ask me questions on how I went about processing my admission and how I finally, ended up here. Well, just a quick background. I applied to like a total of 15 schools, and this is not to just like tell you all my history, but just to give you like pointers on things that can help you when you're going about your application. So I have some things listed down randomly, so I don't know how many points I have. I just like wrote everything down, but I hope that they would be helpful to you when you want to apply, especially if you are planning to apply for a master's abroad. So this is just for if you are applying for a master's abroad. Okay, so I don't claim to be an expert, but I will just like give you some things that helped me and some things that you can also look out for. So it's about past 3 p.m, so it's getting really dark here, so I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. Okay, so first things first, I applied to a total of 15 schools and I got only 5. I think I got only 5. Yes, and I didn't focus in one country. So I applied to schools in the US, applied to schools in the UK, applied to schools in Canada, and I also applied in Australia. So, but this is not to just tell you that it's not possible. It is possible to get whatever school that you want, but you have to be ready. You have to be ready. So first of all, you have to understand that studying abroad is a huge opportunity for you if you intend to study abroad. So don't see it as people are trying to japa from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian, so don't see it as, oh, you're trying to like run away of some sort. If you have the opportunity, by all means, take advantage of the opportunity. Okay, so number one point is writing your essays and preparing for scholarship opportunities. Now, if you by the time you have gotten to the point where you've decided this is the school I want to go to, they are all going to majority request for essays, and you have to prepare adequately for those essays. You have to make sure that you are writing exactly what it is that the school describes or the school needs for that particular course. So if you're applying for a management course or for a science course, there are some particular requirements that you have to go through, which is particular, or rather particular to a particular school. Sorry about that. So which is particular to a particular school. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. So it is for a particular school, not so you don't use, for example, you don't use a statement for school A for school B, because they might want different things. Okay, so you have to be very you have to do your research. Google has to be like your second best friend if you already have a real best friend. So Google has to be like your best friend, where you are getting all the information. And if you are intending to be involved or like get a scholarship, you have to prepare adequately for those scholarship opportunities, and you have to research for those scholarship opportunities. Okay, so when you're writing your essays, you have to tailor your essays to fit that particular school. You get what I mean? And if it's that you want a scholarship, you also have to, because you're gonna write essays, personal essays for the school, which they also call them statements of purpose or personal statements, whatever it is. So you have to prepare the essay for that particular school, and then you have to find out, if you want a scholarship, you have to find out the scholarship opportunities available to Africans, and if you are eligible for that, so you don't waste your time applying to something that at the end of the day you are not eligible for it, and you start being tired and frustrated that, oh, I've wasted all my energy applying, and at the end of the day I didn't get it. Okay. Then another thing I wrote down is the schools, virtually like most of the time, they need academic references. Now there are some schools that will tell you they need both academic and professional references. Now professional references come into place when you have worked, like maybe you worked for like 2 years and above. Do you get what I'm saying? You worked for like 2 years and above in a particular field that is related to your course. So if you don't have such professional references, it is better to fall back on your academic references. Now, for those academic references, you have to be, if you are still in the university right now watching this video, you have to have a relationship with your lecturers, especially for a place like Nigeria. And when I mean relationship, I mean a cordial relationship. So be an ideal student. You don't have to be like the best students in class, but be an ideal student. Let your lecturer know you. You get what I mean? And also let them know about your plans to further. Okay, so let them know beforehand so that when the time comes for you to apply, you are not suddenly going to call Mr. So and so and telling him, "Oh, sir, I want you to be my referee." Some of them might respond, some and some that would respond might take a long time. You get a long time to send you that reference letter, and then there are some that they have a good heart, they would respond on time. So you have to build that relationship. There has to be that gap. The gap has to be closed. You have to close that gap between you and your lecturer, okay, especially for the long term. So if it is your intention to study abroad, you have to understand that they will request for references, academic references especially. So you have to make sure you have a relationship with your lecturer so that you can bridge that gap, and then they can write a very good referee for you, because nobody wants to be a referee to somebody they don't know. So you can't just come out of the blue and tell them that, "Oh sir, please, or ma, please write me a reference letter." Okay, so I hope that is understood. So that is most especially for if you're going for a taught postgraduate program. If you're doing a research postgraduate program, then professional references can fly. Okay. And then so I've talked about, so you lay the groundwork, you have a good relationship with your lecturers beforehand, and then okay, so concerning essays, don't be a copycat when you're writing your essays. I can't say this enough. Don't be a copycat. Now, if you go online, there are plenty templates to choose from, but those templates are to help guide you in writing your essays. You're not to follow them word for word. Let me put it in that direction. You're not to follow them word for word. So if you get a template online, let's say you're applying for a management course, and you get like a reference, or rather, sorry, an essay from students who are applying to a management course, and you get an example, just look at the pattern on how they constructed that essay and connect it with your own experiences. Okay, so if you had such and such experiences, maybe you worked in a company whereby you manage a group of people. What did you learn from that particular experience, and how did it help to inspire you to apply for this particular course? So tailor it to your own personal self. Don't go and copy someone else's essay word for word. You need to sound as authentic and original as possible. Okay, then so I've talked about following the school guidelines. Make sure you follow the school guidelines and identify exactly what the school wants you to talk about and write on that. And then the final point for essays is always get someone to proofread for you. Always get someone to proofread for you. Don't pretend or don't form that you know it all. Yes, you know all things, but always get someone to proofread for you. There is something they call a second eye. There are things that you might think is okay in your own eyes, but when somebody else takes a look at it, they can be able to advise you in the right direction. Okay, so always get someone to proofread for you. Don't go and submit something that has spelling errors or the grammar is incorrect. Of course, you know, as Nigerians, English is not our strong suit, and we are still learning every day. Okay, so don't think in your own eyes it's perfect. Your spoken English might be perfect, but your written English is something else, or your written English might be awesome, your spoken English is something else. So you need to just get somebody else to vet whatever it is you are doing. Okay, then I've talked about if you're self-funding. Okay, so if you're self-funding, I've talked about if you don't intend to self-fund, getting scholarships, you have to prepare ahead, research on the particular school and research on the kind of scholarship that is applicable to you if you are eligible for it. And then if you are self-funding, if you're self-funding, make sure that you have all the information required in terms of the particular amount of funds that it is the particular amount of funds needed in your bank account. So whether in your sponsor's bank account, it could be your mom or your dad. They don't want to see funds from any other source, especially if you're coming to the UK. Okay, I think for the US or as well, it's almost relatable. So make sure you have the exact details concerning the particular amount of funds you should have in your account. It was one of the things that delayed my application, delayed my visa application. So you need to be sure, you need to ask questions. No one is an island. Okay, and then yes, so I said read a lot of articles and ask questions, watch YouTube videos. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I prepared ahead, and it was a challenging journey, but you'll come out victorious if you're resilient. Okay, so read a lot of articles, ask questions. Like I said earlier, I said Google is your best friend, your second best friend. Google is your second best friend. So make sure you read a lot and ask questions. And then I think my final point is have a support system during the process. Applying for a master's degree is very stressful, very strenuous, and like I said in the beginning, I applied to about 15 schools. I'm sure I'm not getting the number right, but I think if I sit down and really count, it will be more than 15. And I was filling applications back to back, getting rejection emails back to back, and yeah, it was really a tough time for me. But if it's something that you really want to do, you need to hold on strong. If you believe in God, I'm a Christian, so if you believe in God, you pray, okay, and you do all you need to do, say your confessions, and whatever it is you need to do as a believer. Okay, so whatever religion that you are, you need to just trust in the spiritual process of your journey. So have a support system during the process. Sometimes it feels like a lonely road to tow. It feels like you're all alone, but I believe that if you really want something in life and you are you keep at it, you keep training yourself, you keep building yourself, there is nothing that is impossible for you to achieve. So I really hope that with these few nuggets of mine, you've been able to get a little bit of something on how to go about your application process for a master's degree in wherever part of the world. So if you have any more questions, you can post a comment in the comments section down below, and I would respond quickly as possible. And if there's anything you have any question about, if there's anything you want me to talk about in my next video, I would appreciate your suggestions. I'm on Instagram at Rayche Riches. I'm also on Twitter at Rayche Riches, and I'm also on Snapchat at Rayche Riches. Yeah, it sounds like a tongue twister. Okay, so you see, if you love this video, kindly subscribe to my channel. Please click the link down below, and I would love to hear from you. Bye, until next time. Ciao.